I'm with it, 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 let's get it. You already know that I'm with it. We already know that she with it. You know that my
Yo, welcome to I'm With It Sports Talk. I'm your host, Jalen Green. Alongside me is Scoob.
What's up, folks?
Hey, I'm Antonio.
Let that man introduce himself.
I mean, listen, I didn't know. Like, I was like,
introduce himself.
Pausing, not pausing. I don't know what's going on.
Well, first of all, you can't come with a cool nickname like Scoob and it's just like Antonio. I should have started on this side.
Disrespectful, to be honest with you.
Started on that side. But
So,
it's okay.
Tones and Scoob, how y'all fellas doing today?
Man, I'm great, man. I'm blessed, man.
I'm ready to get in it.
I'm ready to get it in. Finals are over. I'm ready to talk some sports, man. I've been itching to talk sports, man. So
We had a
let's
long
talk
4 months break, man. I'm all about the sports right now.
Yo,
as long as we can keep them.
Is it crazy like that we were on the verge of like not having sports for the year?
Bro, it got so bad, I was watching professional arm wrestling. I didn't even know that was a thing, for real.
It got so bad, I was having real conversations with my girlfriend. Like, I learned. I learned a little bit. I learned a little bit too much about her. I was like, wait a minute, hold up now. What you mean your favorite color teal? Teal?
Teal? When did we start
What
doing
are we
that?
doing with that? I'm not buying nothing teal.
Shout out to all the homies having real conversations with their girls in the pandemic, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. Y'all are real.
It's over now. You can go back to doing what you was doing.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's bad when you just start making up stuff just to get out the house.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I had to check on your tires. I didn't know what was up with them, so I left.
I had to go put some turtle wax on your dashboard. I had to, you know what I mean?
Just start running for no reason. You know, you ain't run since high school.
Man.
Or like the boy that washed his girl car in the rain.
Just had to get out.
Just had to get out.
Need a minute.
Just had to get out, man.
I mean, I think we can all agree though that sports are a safe haven. You know that we needed them and we miss them, and I'm glad we got them back, especially football.
Absolutely, and there was a lot that happened in the football world this week.
I was happy about football.
It was good stuff. Shout out to Alex Smith. 2 years.
Shout out to Alex Smith. Yeah.
It was painful to watch.
That was painful to watch.
He got sacked like 5 times.
Bro,
I didn't want to see him get hit.
For
again.
you to almost die to get back on the field, that's just an accomplishment within itself. For real.
Yeah. I think some things sometimes. I think that competitive nature sometimes is the downfall of some players, right?
Yeah.
Because at some point you gotta start to kind of let the balance of life. Like you got kids, you got a family to take care of.
But he did it for them.
That's
the reason why he came back was they wanted him to.
That's true.
But the thing is, now you see him come back, and the reality is a little different.
And we're going to get to that later.
Okay.
We definitely going to get to that Washington football team.
Yeah.
The football team.
Let's just go ahead. You know, there was comeback wins. You know, the Seattle Seahawks, they balling. Drew Brees looking a little old there.
Looking a little cliffish.
Yeah.
Looking a little cliffish.
But, you know, I guess San Diego still can't find the kicker, so they came back on that.
LA, come on now. San Diego, come on. Come on
First of
now.
all,
San Diego done lost that team.
There's only one Charger fan I know of who probably cares about this, and that's Jordan.
Yeah, well.
You know,
Shout
he's
out to
by
Jordan.
himself.
We're going to talk about you later, too, bro.
Yeah, we're going to talk
you
about
out
your
of
sport.
pocket, but go ahead.
But I think we should address the biggest thing that happened this weekend. I'm sorry.
Why do you bring this up? Like, why is it?
Because it's the biggest thing that happened this weekend. We're going to address it.
What could you possibly be talking about? I don't even remember.
What is it that you speak of?
So the Dallas Cowboy starting quarterback, Dak Prescott, went out on a horrific ankle fracture. Honestly,
compound fracture and dislocation.
And a dislocation. Like, can it get any worse?
I literally said, and I texted him when it happened, I said it was some Gordon Hayward stuff from the opening night where his whole foot was that complete opposite way.
Yeah.
That was just, I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and that almost brought me to tears.
I shed a tear. But I think the injury itself, I mean, we wish him nothing but the best in the recovery, but it speaks to a bigger issue with football. So
let's talk about it.
Dak Prescott is playing under a franchise tag right now.
Yes,
and
he is.
You and I, you know, we're not going to sniff at $31 million.
No, absolutely not.
I'm going to sniff at 3,100.
Exactly. But Dak Prescott is a man who is making a guaranteed $31 million with no guaranteed money.
No guaranteed money,
Yeah.
right.
His contract situation is completely up in the air because they franchise tagged him and didn't want to give him the long-term deal he looked for. So for me and you, $31 million is great, but $31 million compared to $90+ million guaranteed
That he should be getting, yes.
is a
Agreed.
big
Keyword.
drop-off.
Should be getting.
But now he's not guaranteed. So now you have to go out and you got to negotiate. And this was the agent going to do. He's going to say, hey, my player will come back strong. And the organization's going to say, prove it.
Now, do you look at him and is it a prime position to bet on himself in this instance? Like,
I could see a Drew Brees situation.
Right,
I could
right,
see him
right,
not in
right.
Dallas.
Ooh.
Because, to be honest with you,
That's a hot take right there.
it could be considered a hot take,
That's
but
a
there
hot
already
take.
was some bad blood between the two parties before this.
Yes, this is true.
His brother
This is
was
true.
on Twitter saying some things.
Yeah.
They
Agreed.
didn't get the deal done. Not one offseason, 2 offseasons now
Right.
they didn't get this deal done. And now,
We had the
if I'm
opportunity, we had
Dak,
the money.
don't you have to look at it and say, y'all betted against me,
Yes, I agree.
and I hurt myself,
I agree.
and you still want a discount? That's going to be hard. And from a man point of view, think about your pride.
Yeah. Well. So here's the thing. My pride wouldn't have allowed me to even get this far. I'd have been looking for a way out. You know what I mean? Like I would have.
I mean, but that's the problem with the franchise. See,
Yeah, that's true.
As I
That's
said,
true.
that's the
Okay,
problem
yeah,
with the franchise
yeah,
tag.
understood,
Because if
understood.
he doesn't play, he don't get
He don't
paid.
get that money,
And
right.
what? He's a 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
So he made $4 million through his first 4 years.
If I'm him, I'm pissed. Like
Here's the thing, and the thing that worries me more is the fact that no matter like which way you see it,
right.
the Dallas Cowboys organization has a way to get out of this.
Oh, absolutely.
So like, 'cause
Absolutely.
knowing Jerry Jones who he is,
Absolutely.
if Dallas stinks, because not saying like they are now, but our division right now, NFC East is trash.
And I'm not
complete
putting my faith
trash.
in Andy Dalton. I don't care
Yeah.
what y'all say. We
But
barely won.
But
Did
I'm
you see that
saying like
field goal thing?
to win this division, you probably need 7 wins.
Yeah.
If
7,
Andy-
8. Well,
that's
7
sad.
if you knew if you're Philly.
Yeah.
8
Yeah.
if you're
You're
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
They
But-
tie.
Go Cowboys. Yeah.
But here's the thing: if Andy Dalton does absolutely trash, which we all think he will be,
I absolutely think he will be.
now the Cowboys possibly got a top pick. With all the quarterbacks
Justin
coming out of
Fields,
college,
Trey
do you
Lance,
think Jerry
Trevor
Jones, of all people, is not going to pick a quarterback?
Think about it.
Here's my
5
question.
years of a quarterback
Come on.
under
Look me in the
a
eye and
rookie
tell me he's not
deal.
going to pick
I can't right now.
A
Because
quarterback for 5 years on a rookie deal.
Justin Fields, Trevor
Or
Lawrence.
Dak Prescott with one ankle.
You're right. You're right. I'm done because if we have the opportunity, I'm going to get Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I'm trading up for that pick. I love you, Dak. Bless you, Dak. But I'm trading up for Trevor.
But again, that speaks to the issue
Yeah.
with the franchise
Yeah.
tag.
Yeah, you're right.
Dak
Well-
Prescott was the most durable quarterback in the NFL.
This is true.
But in the NFL, you're durable till you're not
Till
durable.
you're not durable.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know
till
what I'm
you're not
saying?
durable. Yep.
Carson
Agreed.
Wentz has missed as many games as he's missed. But if you think about it, Dak is going to miss more games this year
Than
than
Wentz has
Wentz has missed in his career in the regular season. But who's more durable? Dak, right? So you're durable till you're not durable. And now you give me the opportunity to say, in this league, everybody's trying to get a rookie quarterback so they can pay everybody else.
Right.
And had a rookie for cheap.
Right.
And that's their window.
And do the same thing that they did to Dak, essentially.
Yeah, basically, because it's
Right.
cost control for 5 years.
Yeah.
Now they're saying he's there. Stephen Jones came out though and said
That
he's
don't
their
mean
future, but that words
don't mean nothing.
That don't
in
mean
the
anything.
NFL.
Because here's
That
my
don't mean
thing.
nothing in any major
Lord
sports
for-
or any business.
Lord forbid Andy Dalton somehow makes this playoffs. They're going to keep him over
Oh my
Dak
gosh.
anyway.
If I'll even go a step further. If Andy Dalton makes the playoffs, I wouldn't be surprised if they retain him
Yeah, 'cause
as a viable starter.
Now,
Yeah,
as a
'cause he's
Cowboys
cheaper.
fan,
Okay.
do you believe that Jerry Jones actually believes Dak Prescott is his quarterback?
I don't. I don't. And the reason why I don't answer, and that's a great question, Antonio, because honestly, for me as an avid football guy, and the quarterback position being the most important position, one would think that you would solidify and lock that up. Running backs come a dime a dozen, right?
Correct.
You can make a good running back.
And he had 2 years.
And he
jumped the line.
You can make a good running back. It's hard to make good quarterbacks in the league. Look at how many running backs have come into the league that are, 4th and 5th round picks that weren't really good in college, but now just hit their stride in the league. You can say the same for some quarterbacks, but I equate that quarterback situation to system more than player. Let's look at Tom Brady, right?
Right.
Tom Brady's
That's a hot
struggling
take.
a little bit outside
take.
the system a little bit.
That's a toughie to say. I'll give it to you,
But
but
yeah.
it's a
But
toughie.
Right now,
Right now,
Yeah, right now what we
looking at
see-
the scope, like, look at what, because they inserted Cam, who, yes, ultimately is a better athlete, but can we go out on a limb
Running
and
a
say that he's
completely
fully a better
different offense.
quarterback than Tom Brady right now? Not at all, right? So to see that he can still flourish in the system, right, even though we don't know how far it's going to go.
Well, I would say, though, for the Cam situation especially, what New England showed is coaching in the NFL is so important.
Right.
Because that system they are running with Cam Newton they could not run with Tom Brady.
Right.
To be able to run your quarterback in game 1 15 times, you running Tom Brady 15 times in 15 years. Okay, like you're not, unless it's a QB sneak, you're not running Tom Brady.
This is true. This is true.
But when you have a Cam Newton, you do that.
Yeah.
Now bringing that back to Dak, Dak is the only quarterback who supposedly is the franchise quarterback that they say they believe in, who didn't get his money.
Didn't get his money.
Goff got his money.
Got his money up
Wentz
front.
got his money. Both got their money twice.
Twice.
Twice. First and second overall pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it comes to Dak, who won more games. And now I'm not a Cowboys fan.
And I want you to
one
preface
more
that. I want you to
game?
say that one more time.
I'm not a Cowboys fan.
Not a Cowboys
Neither one
fan.
of
I
us
want
are.
everybody to hear
Yeah.
that. He's not a Cowboys fan.
He won more games. He solidified that franchise.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, that was a perpetual 8-8 franchise for a decade.
Sure.
Now, he had his up years, 13-3 as a rookie, down year when Zeke got suspended.
Yep.
Then was back up, won the division again. So he's had his ups and downs as a young quarterback.
Right,
But
absolutely.
he's the only one to not get paid. The last quarterback to not get paid was Kirk Cousins. And we all know where he's at.
You like that got paid.
And we know
More
where
than his fair share.
And when he got done his franchise tag, he
Shout out
got
to
a
the Vikings
fully
fans.
guaranteed deal.
Because he had to bet on himself.
Can I piggyback on that? The key word you said before Dak got there, they were 8-8. The last quarterback there was Tony Romo, and he got paid.
Was
he
the
got
highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Tony got paid, man.
And he was the highest paid quarterback at one time.
Tony got paid, yeah.
Dak has
And
won
Dak's-
as many playoff games
As
Tony Romo.
As Tony
As
Romo's
Tony
career.
Romo. And in his career.
And
Agreed.
remember, you guys had the top 4 pick the year Dak got drafted because you took Zeke
Because we took Zeke with the 4th pick.
with the 4th pick with Tony Romo, the quarterback of that team.
The quarterback of that team. And then we lucked up. Because honestly, to me, Dak was the steal. In large part, hindsight.
it's not
Ain't
even
nobody
was the
gonna
steal
debate
of
you
that
on that.
draft, right? You know what I mean? And so for me, like watching him give his all to us, and again, he's going through his growing pains as a quarterback. Being thrust in that position. But I also think that, again, I don't think that he could have gotten his money and them take care of Tony the way that they took care of Tony.
Now-
and Jason Witten.
Now,
You know
wait a
what
minute.
I'm
We
saying?
can put it. He should get his money. We all agree
Period.
there,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Money,
absolutely.
Okay,
yes,
but
yes.
their excuse for not giving him his money is the worst part.
Yeah.
When
That's
you
what I'm
give it
saying.
DeMarcus Lawrence, who is no-showed for 19 games straight now. Okay, he
No
finally
sacks.
made a play.
Oh, I'm about to say,
finally
no
made
sacks
a
in
play against
19
the
straight
Giants.
games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No sacks
He
in
had-
19 straight games.
No, he had 3 over
3.
19.
I'm
3.
sorry. Yeah, 3. I'm
Ooh.
sorry.
But still.
Might as well have been
Hold
0.
on.
Right,
The
might as well,
highest
yeah.
paid defensive player
He has 3
in
more than me
Dallas
right now.
Cowboy
Cowboys
history. History, yep.
making $20 million. You got Amari Cooper making $20 million, who you traded a first-round pick for and then did not re-sign right away.
Nope.
Was not a part of the trade
Nope.
to negotiate a contract.
Nope, not at all.
So you held him hostage, and he only plays home games.
And
I ain't seen Amari leave Dallas since he got there.
He might be like KCP. He might have a house
Right.
arrest.
Okay.
He might have a house arrest.
But
thing
KCP
happen.
got a chip
But
now.
KCP got his ring though, so I can't hate. You know what I
Listen.
mean? So I would say this. Do you guys now, with Dak not getting paid, and because obviously that money is being ill spent across the board because
Yeah.
we're getting torched in the secondary.
Oh, absolutely.
What is the defense?
That's
Understatement.
defense, but our Achilles heel has more so been secondary. Why can't we get that together?
Well, I'm an Eagles fan, so I can't speak.
Right,
This
I'm
is
about to
true.
say neither
To-
one
Because
of
y'all
us.
definitely
Secondary.
paid Nandi Asamoah.
Hey,
Hey,
but Darius
and Byron
Slay is
Maxwell.
looking.
And Byron Maxwell.
But Darius Slay is looking good right now, though. Listen.
That's true. Y'all have better bench players as corners. No lie.
They've left and done well. We don't look. We're not talking about.
Okay.
defense.
We're
not doing this talking about
No, that's going to come back up, too. Cause I'm going to dig in somebody later on. But listen.
He said I'm going to dig in.
Go ahead.
What I believe this shows, though, and this will help segue us into our next topic,
Okay.
is that the quarterback landscape in the NFL, there's 32 of them.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
either considered great
Yeah.
or you're considered expendable. Now, that does not necessarily mean you're playing great.
This is true.
In Philadelphia, Carson Wentz, not playing great.
Right,
But
right,
he's not
right.
expendable. He's considered great for
Right.
that team
Right,
right now.
right,
Right.
Kirk
right.
Cousins' first couple games this year was the same way.
Right.
Or you're in the Dak boat, and you're considered now more so expendable.
Where he shouldn't be.
Because he's really not like.
No, but he's
it's
not.
hard to
But
find
that-
a consistent quarterback, man.
But that's the problem with Jerry Jones ultimately.
Yeah.
He's more for the now. He's not thinking future.
Yeah.
And that's sad, man, because how do you think future when the when the now is super important? Because we thought future would draft in a whole bunch of linemen and then
But he didn't want to do that. He
That's
wanted
true.
to take Johnny
That's
Manziel over Zach Martin.
Yeah.
But with this,
I'm
now
glad he
where
did.
I'm going to say, Jerry might have some leeway here is our next topic.
Okay.
Quarterbacks are not being committed to in other cities,
Okay.
such as
Right.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt Ryan,
Okay.
yesterday, if you don't know, the Atlanta Falcons head coach was fired.
Yeah.
Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, came out and did not support
No.
Matt Ryan.
He literally said he's expendable. Like, we'll see what the new coach is, the new GM come in, we'll see what happens.
I have a problem with that. Yeah, I have a problem.
I
with
mean,
I have an
and
extreme problem
he's
with that.
just one of many.
But that's not the only one.
Yeah,
look,
yeah,
look,
yeah,
look.
yeah.
We got a Matthew Stafford out there
This is
who's
true.
on the trade block this offseason.
This is true.
We got Dwayne Haskins, who's only 17 games into his
Now,
career.
That boy
That's-
got benched, boy.
No, but look,
Not
see,
just
look,
He
bench.
looked decent though. But he got
not
demoted to the
just
practice
bench.
squad.
But here's
He
the
was
thing,
put
though.
to the third string. Told him don't show up to the game. You got the stomach flu.
But here's the thing, though.
I'm sorry, Eddie Washington football fans. That's crazy to me.
because but they did him dirty though. Like, and that's my problem with that whole situation.
man.
Because the second that he got into that organization,
Right.
he had no foundation, no stability. Like,
Well, ultimately, I think he was drafted too high anyway.
He was a raw prospect.
I
His
don't
talent
yeah.
level is there.
But I don't
he
care who
came
you-
out 1 year at Ohio State.
yeah. See,
Didn't
yeah.
have the reps. He needed to go
Yeah,
to.
he needed more
Now, this
reps.
is my big
Agreed.
point to this whole topic is these quarterbacks who are on the market have the talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yep,
it shows
that's-
you
yep.
what organizational stability really looks
That's
like
true.
in the
He can-
NFL.
I agree with that.
Matthew
I agree with
Stafford
that.
has one of the best arms you'll see in the NFL today.
I agree with that. I
You've
agree with
seen
that.
him put balls in places where you're like, how?
Right.
But yes,
But
I seen that. Yes.
Matt Patricia can't coach.
nope.
Same thing, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was an MVP in this league.
This is true.
Led his team to a Super Bowl appearance, was up 28-3.
This is true.
Listen.
They
He didn't lose that.
Right,
They
he
have
didn't
not
lose that.
recovered since then.
Also, let's not forget, Dan Quinn was supposed to be a defensive-minded coach.
And where has that been?
Gone. Yeah.
You know that. Yeah.
But all
All
of
the
these oh wait, we gonna do the same thing. Gardner Minshew, who's
Gardner
a little bit of a
Minshew.
steal in and of itself,
Yep.
is in an organization that is tanking, that
Right.
that says they believe in him,
That says they believe, but they're
but
not.
they
right.
don't really show that they
Yeah.
believe in him.
Sam Darnold the same way.
Sam Darnold, who rumors are coming out that he's on the trade block.
Really?
Oh, so is
Rumors have
Le'Veon
come
Bell.
out.
So is
Le'Veon
Le'Veon.
Bell
I
is
did.
on the media trade block.
So, so right.
He's on the
because-
media.
and I'm
He
glad
wants
y'all
to get
brought
in
up.
for a bag
I'm
of
glad I
chips.
brought up. Right. The niggas about to trade him for grapefruit and some zigzags. But I'm glad y'all brought up Le'Veon Bell because, for me, and looking at the Steelers, right, and where they are right now with James Conner,
Organizational
right?
stability right there.
Organizational stability. That points to it because Mike Tomlin, and kudos to Mike Tomlin for this. Mike Tomlin, he got blasted for the way he handled the Antonio Brown
100%.
situation because he wasn't as vocal
Right.
and because he kept it as we're doing the things internally that we need to do.
You know how you know the Pittsburgh Steelers are a great organization? I'm going to put it to you this way. I just turned 25.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen 2 head coaches in my entire lifespan in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher and Mike
yes,
Tomlin.
And Mike Tomlin, yes.
That
Agreed.
means on good days,
Yes.
they stick with their coach. On
bad
bad days,
they
stick with their coach. That's not changing your philosophy.
Right.
That is believing what we do will win.
Right.
The players, we
Right.
might have to switch.
Right.
This, we might have to switch.
Right.
And to be able to deal with Antonio Brown, who we now
Yeah.
know
Is
Is a
crazy,
elite
crazy,
defense, bro.
crazy.
That boy sent a bag of penises
And we
to his
didn't hear
baby.
anything about him.
What is going on? And you want to know?
We didn't hear anything about him.
This brings me to my next point too, because I had a lot of, I don't call them debates because, you gotta have solid points to debate, and a lot of people didn't. So
Right.
more so just kind of we were talking, but I watched a lot of people applaud what Antonio Brown was doing in the sense of you're taking control of your situation. You're you know what I mean? You're but I'm like, at the end of the day, now you on the outside totally looking in because nobody wants to deal with the headache that you are.
You know how I'm gonna make the analogy? He thought he was in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's literally
yes.
it.
He thought he was in the
Yes.
NBA. The NFL has showed for years and years and years the people who wear the helmets are expendable. That logo is not.
It's never going anywhere.
Okay.
It's never going
so
anywhere.
for every
Agreed.
Antonio Brown There is a Mike Wallace who had 1,000 yards before him.
Yes.
There's a Juju Smith-Schuster who had 100 receptions and 1,000 yards with him.
Yes.
Now they got Chase Claypool out here
killing 4 touchdowns,
killing my Eagles. You know what I'm saying? So are they even worried about an Antonio Brown?
No.
We haven't heard them mention him at all, or Le'Veon,
or the Raiders for that matter either. Like
they got Henry Ruggs. They took Nelson Aguilar off the scrap heap, and he's out here putting up solid numbers.
He's actually catching the football. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles fans who used to call him Trash Bagalore and all that.
I still, as a fourth receiver, I think he's doing good.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't make him do more than he has to do. It shows you, though, the NFL is very cut and dry. You can call it heartless. You can call it whatever it is.
Right.
You are not more important than the 52 other men
not at all
on that team or that coaching staff or that owner.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I think that's, like you said, it's a testament to what the NFL has kind of molded and branded itself to be, like where you make the actual, nothing is above the brand.
Now, you know what's ironic about that? I can take that and bring that back to Dallas.
Okay.
And Dallas, as an organization and with their players, they've always consistently, since Jerry Jones has been the owner, gone for players who want to be more than the league. Who want to be more than just the brand.
Understood.
If you play for America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, you are now a superstar.
Yes.
Right? You had Tony Romo dating Jessica Simpson.
No matter what our record was.
Didn't win a playoff game. Was out here dating Jessica Simpson.
Yeah. Shout out to Tony Romo, because you definitely milked that joint.
Miles Austin went from an undrafted receiver.
Where's Miles Austin now?
But when he was the star receiver for the
Canadian
Cowboys,
league,
was... Who knows?
Last time we saw.
But that is the problem with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Instead of being an organization who cares about the stability and cares about the brand of winning, they care about the brand of being stars.
But that's why, you see, the Patriots, because they have that whole next man up mentality.
Next man up, yeah.
On to the next one. They would literally would say, our focus is on whoever's next.
Whoever's here.
And they would just say that team.
Whoever
That's all they
work.
care about.
Yeah.
When you become an organization, and my Philadelphia Eagles did it after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When you become an organization that wants to talk about, having fun. We are bigger than life personalities. Lane Johnson became a little bigger than himself. After that Super Bowl.
Yep.
Out here struggling with ankle injuries, right? Yeah. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. Yeah. I'm not saying he's not committed, but...
Right.
Is he?
Right.
Why is he getting this ankle surgery as late as he did in the offseason? Right. Things like that. When you aren't keeping the main thing, the main thing.
Agreed. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Is when you end up becoming a bad franchise.
You know it's bad when Philadelphia fans and Cowboys
fans
agree. Can agree on something. Hell is probably about to freeze over right now, Antonio, because we are literally on the same page when it comes to how these organizations are run and just the scope of what the level of importance is across the board. Like you said, no one man is above the 53-man roster. And you can even say that with the moves that were made in the offseason, right? The situation with the Patriots, right? Mm-hmm. That Tom Brady essentially should have died a Patriot.
Deuces.
Yeah.
He should have died a Patriot, y'all.
And the thing is, they tried to get rid of him before.
Right.
and he's... I look at it like when Drew Bledsoe went down and Tom got essentially the nod, that's when the scope of their whole legacy changed.
Now, taking it to that Drew Bledsoe point, Tom Brady is almost like the girlfriend of a man who got she got her man by, she was the side chick.
She was the side chick, right.
And she got promoted, and he dumped his main girl for her.
And then ultimately he dumped her.
And guess what?
Right.
She was shocked that he did the same thing to her.
Right.
The way you got the job is how you going to lose it. Wow. Whenever Bill Belichick showed you who Bill Belichick was, I don't care. As long as you're producing and I feel like we're going to do it with you, I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Now, the minute I think I can do it without you,
I'm going to show you.
I'm going to show you I'm going to do it without you.
And so how important is that Cam pickup for them?
Very important.
Do you think that any other quarterback fits into that rotation right off the bat like a Cam does?
See, here's my thing. I seen a man also take Matt Castle and
10-6.
10-6.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
They didn't make the playoffs, but they were 10-6. They were
4-0.
With Jimmy G and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Jimmy G.
And here's the thing, too.
So that's why I'm asking.
The fact that he got Cam for a bag of peanuts. Still,
he got Cam for...
But you got...
Now, I have my own issues with the Cam deal.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, having a former MVP quarterback at the age of 31... go for $1 million on this open market.
It's disrespectful.
When the Chicago Bears is out here trading for the entire contract of Nick Foles.
Yep.
What?
Who, I mean, thank you for the Super Bowl.
You're a Super Bowl champion, but
unless you're coming off the bench, you don't show anything. You lost the camp job to Mitch Trubisky. Okay, let's put that out there.
Keep it funky.
Carolina pays $63 million to Teddy Bridgewater to be a game manager.
Yep.
He's completing 75% of his passes almost. You know what that shows? You are a game manager. You are Chad Pennington.
You don't have what it takes and you don't have what it takes to ultimately put them over the top.
Now they're winning games in Carolina. Congrats.
I mean, but they're winning
without
games.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
But an MVP though, and if you look at half the teams now that are struggling, that don't have a win, all of them need quarterbacks.
Denver
need a quarterback.
needs a quarterback.
LA,
Especially
I
now.
mean, Justin Herbert looks great now.
The Jets, clearly they're going
The
to
Jets need
quarterback.
everything.
Dang,
I don't
well,
know
Jets-
what. I don't
need
blame
to
Sam Darnold.
They need to upheave the stadium. They just need to
You got to get rid of Adam Gase.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Adam Gase?
Gase has got to go.
Well, that goes into our next topic. What
Okay.
coaches do y'all think are on the hot seat right
Adam
now?
Gase.
Well, we already,
Well,
we already know that.
That's
Adam
not even a
Gase-
hot seat anymore.
Yeah, that's a
He-
given.
He's in the hot
The
car.
whole
Nigga. Like, he's,
stadium is burning down.
you know what?
I got a goodie for you.
Are we thinking the same one?
We might be.
Okay.
Hot seat for me. I'm not gonna not say Doug Peterson ain't on the hot seat, fellas. I'm not gonna sit here and act like he's not on the hot seat. I'm not gonna act like Ron Rivera is not on the hot seat.
He going through. Now, Ron
He's going through
Rivera,
it, but
not on the hot
but
seat.
to-
Okay.
No, but here's why though. Here's why. Because your window is so short. They're asking you to literally turn the franchise not around.
So for Ron Rivera, I would put him in a different category.
Okay,
I
okay.
agree with
Not a
you.
hot seat,
It's
but-
not a hot seat, but
Okay.
he does not have a long
Okay, he
term
doesn't have a
window
long
unless
leash.
he shows success.
Got you. Okay,
Now,
I'm with that.
for Dougie P, to be the organization I hope the Eagles can become, he can't be on
He
the
can't
hot
be
seat.
on. Okay.
To have that organizational stability is key.
Okay.
Now, the guy who's on the hot seat, we just talked
Get
about
him.
him a
Get
second
him.
ago, is Anthony Lynn out in L.A. You have a quarterback
Yes.
now, right?
Yes.
So last year you complained saying, I didn't want Phillip
Yes.
Rivers because he couldn't
Yes.
move. Okay, cool. You went in, Tyrod Taylor. We don't even want to talk about how your own
I don't
doctors
even want.
Yo.
like,
punctured the
like, how
I-
do you
I-
do that?
I don't
How-
even want to go
So
into
who's
that.
fired? Because ain't nobody get
That's
fired
what
after
That's
that.
but you know what's crazy? The
That's
NFLPA has a
Right.
deal where he cannot sue that team doctor. Isn't
Well,
that
you can
crazy?
punch him out
You almost
loud.
killed me.
Right.
But I can't sue. But no. So he wanted Tyrod, had Tyrod. Tyrod didn't look great week one.
No, not at all.
Okay?
Great,
Didn't look
but-
great.
Right.
Now you have a quarterback who the past 3 weeks has looked very good, and you've been up in all of the games.
and
Yeah.
lost.
And you've lost
Every one of them.
all of the games.
And it's been due to
Herbert's going, as Ryan Clark put on Twitter today, Herbert is going to be a really good quarterback for his next head coach.
Yep.
wow. But that's a definitely good statement. And I wasn't thinking about Anthony Lynn per se because I again he's like to me it's in sort of like a Ron Rivera situation because of the newness of what they're
He's been
dealing
there
with.
for a little bit,
He's been
though.
there for
Yeah.
a little bit, but again with them moving. Just the scope of the whole, everything that's going on, maybe that he had a little bit more relief. But I'm with you, though.
But this
I would
year
say
he
hot
has
seat.
his guys though.
I would
This
say hot
is
seat.
Last
I
year,
agree.
I think they gave him that.
Yeah.
Now, the big name we still forgot, and I know this is the one Jalen wants, Matt Patricia.
Bro, so let me tell you about this man. This is the only man. Listen,
He couldn't wait.
This is the only coach I know who can be 10, 24, and 1. Like, mind you, it's not like the.
What was Jim Caldwell's record the year?
It was. I think it was
9-7, right?
Yeah, he was 9-7.
He was 9-7, but overall he was like 36 and 25.
Yeah,
Playoff
he had a winning
contenders
record.
every
He had a
year.
winning record, yes.
So it's not like the organization was burning down. It's not like
Right.
he was given a bad team.
Yeah.
You came in, you try to make your changes, and you've been trash ever since.
Ever since.
Literally, all he did was take all the old Patriots players, put them on his defense, and
They all
been
got
getting
paid.
cooked.
Shout out to Deron Harmon. Too.
Oh yeah, shout out to him though. I mean,
Delaware
hometown,
legend.
Delaware pride,
stand up,
baby.
baby.
But go
But
ahead,
yeah.
get your money. But at the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
time,
we definitely owe some money.
because my thing is, if this was Jim Caldwell, if this was any other coach,
Agreed.
they would be gone.
Now you heard what he said last week in his press conference,
Yes,
right?
I did. Yes, I did.
Now, what do we think about? He basically threw Jim Caldwell under the bus. In an insane way. For those who don't know, he said in his press conference, when I came to Detroit, there was a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what that work was.
I'm confused.
I don't know what that work was.
Because were they not a playoff contender?
They were a playoff contending team.
I'm confused.
You had a younger franchise quarterback. They made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs. Yeah.
And we barely beat them.
You had a franchise quarterback who was ascending and healthy.
Yeah.
There was never a time
you needed defense, and you were a defensive
coach. Yes.
And there was never a time that anybody was like, "Oh, we're going to walk over the Lions."
No. Even though they were prone to coughing up games, there wasn't this. It's kind of like even when we were talking about in the last pod with the Miami Heat, right? Like they deserve to be talked about as a decent team.
But now do that.
We don't even know.
But now do that.
Not right now. Not with Patricia at the helm. It's too far gone for him. He's gonna.
Mitch Trubisky came back and beat them.
Yeah.
Mitch.
And now he's on the bench.
Trubisky, who can barely complete 50% of his passes.
Ain't got no arm.
Came back and beat him.
But you're a defensive coach, though.
And so with your players that you bought, so players that know your defensive scheme, know your defensive coaching
and you're still giving up double-digit leads.
And here's my thing: you just got rid of Dan Quinn, and I could argue Dan Quinn had more success than Matt Patricia for the same thing.
You can't even just argue. That's a fact.
That's a fact.
And that's a fact.
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so my thing is, if Dan Quinn could get let go, what is keeping Matt Patricia?
He's got pictures of somebody. I don't know who.
Yeah,
but he got some pictures somewhere
or something. But it just blows my mind.
So do you guys think? Because I have somebody that put up an interesting comment. Do you guys think that Matt Stafford regressed under Matt Patricia?
Absolutely.
I mean, it goes to show you coaching
because
you had him in a system that he was very comfortable with and he was progressing in.
Yeah.
And now you put him in a situation where he's not. I mean, there's been a lot of last year he was playing the best football of his career though before he fractured his back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So whatever's going on this year, there was just a funk around the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, the Detroit
but I'm not going to take away that Jim Caldwell is known as one of the better offensive minds in the league.
In the league, absolutely.
So again, the fact that your offense, whether Matt got a bad back or not, his arm is so powerful. Even listen, Tom Brady got a noodle arm and he still made passes.
Now hold on, guys. You brought up something a second ago that's going to lead me to a big segue for us.
Okay.
It's going to be about to be a big segue.
Okay.
We were talking about the leads given up, right? And we were talking about how Detroit gave up the big lead to Chicago. Atlanta gave up a huge lead. And everybody's talking about how that's because of a lack of fans. The NFL is seeing a lot of big double-digit leads dissolve.
Because of momentum, right?
Now, where else was that happening? In the bubble. We just finished up a great NBA season.
Yeah.
And you can't deny, we saw more 3-1 comebacks than I've ever seen in the playoffs. We've seen major leads in playoff games evaporate.
Right.
And that goes to show you the fans make a huge difference.
Sure.
Especially, the ability to lock in defensively when you have somebody 50,000 plus people screaming, and you can feed off of that emotion. Is different.
It's different.
Now, the best of the best
always rise to the top.
Have the ability to not matter about the fans and can get it done.
Agreed.
And speaking of the best, who won the chip?
The LA Lakers, baby.
Los Angeles Lakers, man.
Shout out to Bron.
Shout out to Bron.
Hey, got that 4.
And AD got that number 4, man. And I think that, first of all, and I asked this in another pod, how do you guys feel that the bubble was, how do you feel like that it was handled?
So, personally, first, you just got to give a round of applause to the NBA. Just how they handled it, 0 positive tests for COVID.
0 positive tests in the entire bubble, guys.
But the biggest thing that people, I think, they talk about, but they don't talk about it much.
Yeah.
The fact that they let the players talk about social injustice
that's what I
and handle that situation.
That's what I wanted to get to.
Like, that was huge. The fact that the NBA, Adam Silver came out and was like, cool, if they want to protest because they feel like this is better,
then let them go ahead and be great.
And that's what makes him the best commissioner in sports right now.
Now, while we giving him credit, I'm gonna knock him down a peg.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna knock him down a peg. So I think it was great. The bubble itself was great.
Right.
The social justice reform was okay.
Right.
I'm not gonna say that was great.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because to be honest with you, it felt like in some respects he did it because he had to do it. Because if you don't do this, do you get the players? Do you get a LeBron James back if you don't make anything? Do you get a Jalen Brown who's very outspoken coming back if you don't do anything? They had no choice. And to be honest with you, In some ways, they did the bare minimum. In some way, I'm tired of doing T-shirts saying end social problems.
Right.
Okay, they let them put a social message on their jerseys, but they gave them a short list to pick from.
Right.
If you're going to really support your players, support your players. Do you know what I'm saying? Jimmy Butler came out and said, I wanted to put no name on the back of my jersey because when I'm in these streets, when I'm at home, I am just another black man, and that's how they see me. They don't see Butler.
That's a lie.
They see another.
That's a lie.
That's a
lie. That's a whole lie. And that's my barrier between that, right? Because you can't be both. Like, you're not just a regular black man, bro. Like, and
you're Jimmy Butler. You're Jimmy Butler.
You're Jimmy freaking Butler, like, who people see on a national scale. You're doing commercials. Like,
now, to be fair, though, he's Jimmy Butler to us. To us. Jimmy Butler is not the household. He's not, besides LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, the Pantheon players, you being an all-star level NBA player, they probably think you play basketball because he's tall. They're going to look around like, oh, he's 6'6" and black. He plays basketball. But they are not going to know who Jimmy Butler is in Decatur, Texas.
Yeah, well, yes.
If they're not watching ball, they're not going to know who he is.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
See, I get your point, but from my standpoint of compared to the other leagues, like, yeah, you might see that as a bare minimum for what they did, obviously, to get the players back.
They still did the best.
But here's my thing, though. The fact that I didn't see anything really from the MLB.
The NFL had to be forced to do it.
NFL had to be forced.
That's a big point right
there.
The
only one that really was rocking.
Now, hold on, though. This is going to be my analogy.
Okay.
If we all fail a test, just because I got a 67 and you got a 57, I still failed.
We still failed.
So I would say they all failed.
Right.
But they had the highest fail.
Good
job. Good job.
But here's why. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can see it like that, but the fact that he let them do it. Because
he had no choice.
It's not that.
I don't think he didn't have a choice, though.
But I think he could, because again, like you say, they could have just straight up came out and then the NFL get pushed back.
But here's the difference, though. Remember what I said for the NFL, nothing is above the shield.
Right.
In the NBA, it is a players-driven league.
It's a players-driven
if you
league,
don't have LeBron James at that bubble,
right.
there is no bubble. Patrick Beverley even said, yo, if Bron said we hooping, we hooping.
Right.
You know why? Because he is if Bron says so, it's going to happen. So you had no choice in a way. Now, I'm not going to say, hey, they did the right thing by doing something, right?
Right.
Now, we can
it's just a level,
we're always going to want more.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Right.
I felt like in a lot of ways, they did the bare minimum of it.
See, and I'm more interested to see, like, I see what you're saying.
Think about it, though. The Kenosha shooting happened, and then the players boycotted again to get more. But that stuff should have been done beforehand.
From the jump,
You know what I'm saying? Now, that also goes to the NBPA. They should have negotiated a little better.
Too.
Right.
So clearly, you're able to do more because now we have every NBA arena as a voting center.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's huge.
That's huge, right.
But see,
so that's what I'm saying.
But that's my thing, though. So then, is it really on them, or is that with the players not coming to the table with the right stuff?
The players aren't political activists.
But we want them to be, though.
But if you're going to be,
we want them to use their platform to say, "Hey, things are bad out here."
Correct.
But they're doing that, though.
But my thing is, once you acknowledge the fact, like, hey, this is what we want to do. If they only come with this type of plan, and the NBA say we'll do it, does that really fall on the NBA, or does it fall on them?
Okay. So if you're negotiating with your child, you have a kid, you negotiate, and they say, "Hey, I want this candy bar, Dad." You're like, "All right." You got to pay for the candy bar yourself. But, Dad, I don't have any money right now.
Right.
Okay, I'll buy you the candy bar, but you're going to owe me $100 later. Is that a good deal?
No, you're not getting no candy bar. If you ain't got the money, that's what I'm saying. So me, the type of parent I am, if you ain't got the candy bar, I'm not about to bribe you with interest or set interest later.
I'm just saying it's a bad deal, right?
It's a bad deal. Yeah, most
So
definitely.
these are multi-billionaires. Multi-billion.
Yeah.
Billion with a B. Steve Ballmer is the richest owner of any professional sport in America.
Agree.
So they know. Yes, they know how to make a good deal, is what I'm saying.
Right.
So the players are not, they are basketball players.
Yeah.
A lot of these dudes, LeBron didn't go to college.
Right.
A lot of these
Right.
dudes, I'm not
Right.
saying he's not smart, but he didn't even go to college.
He didn't go to college. Right,
So this
right.
is not their profession.
Gotcha.
So as a
I'm with you.
regular person
I'm with you.
in this situation, they're coming out and saying, yo, I want change. Now, you as an owner, you know how to get the change done. You're the one with the power. You got to come with the better deal. Don't make the people who are fighting for the change, who aren't as experienced in knowing how to get it done, come to you with the deal.
But do we
Would you make
necessarily-
your child come to you and talk to you about paying the rent?
But do we look at Steve Ballmer as a catalyst for social change, though?
But
you know what I mean?
But if
how
you're making your money for the LA Clippers,
That don't even matter.
off the backs of black people,
That
right?
don't even matter.
Who are telling you the only way I'm gonna play is if we work on change.
Bro,
you have more resources to make the change happen than they do.
I'm with you, but at the same token, you cannot look like that's like expecting Donald Trump to do it. You dig what I'm saying? Like you're expecting somebody who doesn't you're literally.
But Donald Trump's not coming out and saying I'm with you.
Neither is he.
No. When you are a member of the NBA, as an ownership committee, they all have to agree on what's done.
No.
So you're coming out saying, yeah, I'm with you to this extent. I mean, in the back of my mind, I would have done this.
Right, but it affects your bottom line, though. So you have to do it, just like the NFL, right? Where
They
Jerry
were forced.
Jones was trying to buck the system.
He said kneeling.
Yeah,
What is a kneel?
What is kneeling, right?
He doubled back real quick.
But he
He
doubled
said,
back.
I mean, if you guys really, if you need
protesting,
to.
So I'm with you 100%. I just think that, yeah, we do. And let me not say that, because white folks, y'all have a responsibility. Let's just keep it a stack. You have a responsibility, like you said, to push the climate even further of social change, because we get it.
Yeah.
We get it. It's the people that, like you said, that are the billionaires, that are supposed to be in a position to kind of affect change, that kind of don't. But I'm not looking at them.
Okay, I'm going to put it
You know
to you
what
in
I
a
mean?
different example. I played college lacrosse.
Right?
I got more help financially, not off a scholarship, but they were willing to work with me more because I was on that lacrosse team. Now, if I was a
Right.
regular dude,
No
that
dice.
work wouldn't have happened.
Got you.
Okay?
Yep.
So these players are only getting worked with because they are who they are. But you can't expect them to know exactly what help. Clearly, the school can offer any help they want, right?
Right.
Clearly, these owners can offer any help they want.
can, right,
They're
right.
giving the bare minimum to them where it wouldn't hurt them for real. In these deals.
So-
You know what I'm saying? So I want it a little bit more.
I got
Which
you.
is
No,
fair.
I understand.
But
I understand.
my whole thing was just giving props to the commissioner and like the NBA.
Thank you for
PA.
doing something.
Yeah, the NBA PA and stuff like that. If you're talking about owners and players, that's a whole. Then you're getting into that where that's where I'm saying like with the commissioner, he's just the face kind of but he's the liaison, more the middle guy for that.
I'll put it to you like this. I'll give you another one. And this is the part. And this is the part this is the only reason why I rebutted you, Antonio, is because when we had a person, I ain't gonna say no names, but actually I'm gonna say his name, Jay-Z, who went on behalf of us, who has not only the cachet, but also has the money. What was the scope of the conversation, right? It was self-serving.
Yeah.
It was beneficial only to him. It was only to push.
And he knew better. Knew better.
And my point to that is we expect so much from a person like Jay-Z, who is a billionaire.
Well,
But he's not throwing all of his money at social injustice, right? So let me ask y'all, what is the balance between just throwing money at it versus actually going and getting the change?
to piggyback on that too, let's not also forget one of the owners in the ownership group is Michael Jordan as well. So he's
Agreed.
sitting at
Agreed.
that
Well,
table.
if it wasn't for MJ, there wouldn't have been a league.
No.
Remember,
I get
when
that.
they boycotted,
When they boycotted,
MJ,
yeah.
who,
I get that.
who had his own political issues in the past.
But going back to what you were saying, but could he have done more?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So
I
you
agree.
show
I
you
agree.
have the clout because you are Michael freaking Jordan.
Michael Jeffrey.
So you have the ability as a owner to enact more change. Now, he did come out and say they're going to be doing $100 million over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
So let's not discredit what he did.
Let's not scoff at
But
100
that-
mil.
But he's the only one of the ownerships.
Oh, yeah.
Doing
Agreed.
that individually.
Agreed. I agree.
Do
I
you
agree
see
with
what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
That's where I come in.
I
And
agree.
yes, we do need to have more people be about that action in our communities.
Yeah.
But
Understood.
we also have to it's not fair that LeBron James has to be more than a basketball
I
player.
yeah,
agree.
no, but
I
it's
agree with that
fair
100%.
That
I agree.
That they have to risk so much, right?
Yeah.
When
I
these
agree.
owners aren't.
I agree 100%.
You see what I'm saying?
That I agree with 100%. And I think that the responsibility of the owners, more so in this time, is to, like you just said, show the players how much of their back you actually have.
Yep.
Right? So I agree where the more should have come off the backs of the owners.
Yes.
So I'm with you.
Yeah.
It should have come off the backs of the owners and not the players. I'm totally with you on that. And I think that going forward, I think, though, that it's the LeBron James, because ultimately, essentially, LeBron James is going to be an NBA owner. I see that.
That's the plan.
I see the plan. I see that already coming into fruition. So I see it as an opportunity for him to kind of right that wrong. But then again, there you go. Why does he have to take on the responsibility when you have so many
we talking
owners?
about the one black owner and now the second possibly black
the second
owner.
only black.
It's all on y'all? Great.
Right.
Yeah, right. But I think he's the one. I think he's one of the only ones that are literally playing right now that has the ability and the voice to actually be that catalyst.
Now, see, this is where I'm gonna rebuke you a little bit on this. These younger players, they even bucked what LeBron was trying to say. They're out here with their voice. Whether you agree with their voice, Michael Porter Jr., I do not agree with.
It's a little ignorant, but you know what I mean?
Not everybody has a great voice, but they are far more active because they have followed the LeBron James's understanding. This is a new league now.
Yeah.
So you have the Jalen Browns. Whether you agree with Kyrie Irving or not, you have a Kyrie Irving who now, wait a minute, Kyrie Irving, though, came out looking real smart when these players boycotted, though, right? When they boycotted, and he said we shouldn't do this in the first place because of this, and this. Now everybody's looking at Kyrie like, no, he made some points, right?
He had to redeem himself, though, because that's the one smart thing that you said.
But you have a Tobias Harris
Yes.
coming out. You have all these players coming out now far more actively involved because of what LeBron did.
Yes.
Now I need that at the next level, though.
Yes.
We talk about the NBA players because those are the faces we see.
Sure, absolutely.
But the money behind them is the reason why the football team is called the football team now.
Yeah, that's true.
Dan Snyder didn't want to change that name.
True. That's 100%
When
true.
FedEx and Pepsi said we're not going to endorse you, suddenly that name got changed.
Got changed to
now they the
Washington
football team.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need it to be on a bigger level.
Yeah, and I think that and I think and even for these companies, right? Because I think the companies have a responsibility to these things as well. Because we're literally, again, the way that an endorsement or a sponsorship can be snatched in a drop of a hat for whatever your belief is.
Oh yeah, don't tweet something crazy.
Don't tweet something crazy. Don't be like Kevin Hart out here and almost lose your whole entire.
Better apologize.
You better. And for me, it's just like watching these things. It puts me in a bad space sometimes because I'm watching the Coca-Colas and the Pepsis and the big sponsors who will not turn our hand down to it. Pepsi or Coca-Cola want to come and sponsor us.
Friends of the pod. Friends of the pod.
Relax. Episode 1. We need that.
If you want to come on and be a blessing, we will not turn you down.
Turn left.
We're going to fight for social injustice, and we're going to hold you to that standard, and we wouldn't be attached to a check. But I guess what I'm asking you guys is, and you guys can just share your expertise. But how important is it for? And let me preface this because we watched the Starbucks situation, and then Starbucks all of a sudden being Black Lives.
Down and,
you know what I mean?
Like train y'all.
Right. We're gonna have racial and so how do you guys feel about these companies that aren't essentially that are just speaking and not really putting action behind it? How do you think that plays? Because
that goes into my point about the owners. A lot of that is happening right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I give companies more of a break. Because companies are not supposed to be political entities.
Okay.
Correct.
Companies are supposed to be
for the most part.
Now, I'm not saying
Even
they don't
though they
have
are
any
with
political
Trump,
power.
I was about to say,
I'm not saying they don't, but I don't look for my
Depot,
companies to
Swayze.
be political entities.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Because if that was the case, people shouldn't eat at Chick-fil-A. Right?
At all. Or shop at Home Depot.
But I eat at Chick-fil-A because I'm going there because I like them nuggets.
I like the chicken, right.
So I'm not
like
worried about that. So I look at companies a little different than I look at the ownership who gets their whole money off of the backs of young, uneducated for in the beginning of their career black men.
Yeah.
Who are looked
I
at.
agree.
Think about it. In these communities, what are you told? You either need to have a ball,
Right.
or you need to have a pen and be able to
either sling
put these.
or have a wicked jump
Right,
shot,
yeah.
man. That's one of the realest lines ever, man. Like, I think that there's a responsibility that ultimately has to happen, and like I said, I think that you hit the nail on the head in saying that again, just the responsibility that comes with the owners. It's a different level of responsibility that has to happen going forward. From all aspects of sports, though, even starting with high school, and the ability for these players, these star players, to actually allow their voices to be heard. I think because it's a systematic. It starts at a systematic level. Because look at this, even with high school football, the kneeling thing was a big issue in Delaware. It was humongous to the point where you had a state almost at odds with each other. And shout out to Delaware high school sports and all the high school sports across the country. And if you're advocating for social, justice, and kudos to you, but it started even at that grassroots level where it was like the players weren't getting the backing of even the administration.
But that's why it takes everybody to make the change, though.
This is true. I agree with that.
That's why
I agree with that.
We're making steps.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying we're nowhere near done.
Nowhere near.
Not at all.
Nowhere near.
The fact that we're making steps finally
Big time.
after hundreds and hundreds of years,
yes,
just injustice in general, not just to our people, but across the board.
Yes.
Like, it's good to see that. Those guys that, you look at LeBron, Jalen Brown, like these kids are going to look up to him and be like, oh, this was not right.
This is the Jim Brown effect.
Now,
this is what the Muhammad Ali.
I think right there what y'all just said, perfect way to close that segment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this to, I got a question on a little lighter tone. That was some deepness.
That was definitely
I like
deep.
It.
We definitely got deep,
bro.
but it needed to happen.
But,
I got a little bit of a looser question now.
Right.
As y'all may or may not know, I'm a Sixers fan.
Oh God!
And I have my own issues. One of these days, you're gonna just have to let me monologue. That's not.
I'm gonna let you get your Stephen A. on. Yeah, I'm gonna let you get your Stephen A. on.
Now it's episode 1. We're gonna keep it light and friendly. We just went deep. I'm not gonna get angry.
Okay.
Keep my pressure low.
So tune in to episode 2.
Gotta keep my pressure low. Gotta put the pressure. So my question right now is, I'm looking around and there's a lot of stars on the free agency and trade block.
This is true.
In the league. The season's over. Bron got that chip.
This is over.
Okay?
Yep.
You got KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn.
Yep.
What are my Sixers going to be able to do to fix the fact that we got 87 power forwards? A lot of maneuvering is possible.
Hey, one of y'all was making that Al Horford joke. That's why we ain't
Yes.
That's why we ain't paid $100 million.
Yes. Hey, Al Horford, man. Hey, man, I love you in the locker room, Al Horford.
Look,
you could be good in the locker room.
The big names I want to talk about is we got CP3, who clearly should not be in OKC anymore, even though he had a great year for them.
At all.
Should be gone.
At all.
You got Bradley Beal. What they doing with Bradley Beal?
I think Bill ends up a Laker.
I don't know how you can make
I don't know how you make it work.
Well, here's the thing, though. You got too many players with options this year with the Lakers. So
you don't got the money. You don't have the ability to make the trades work.
Because AD's going to opt out. He's going to get a max deal.
Now, wait a minute. We saying all these players are going to opt out. We have to remember, because of COVID, the financial situation is different in the NBA this year.
It's a lot different.
So a lot of these players who would normally opt out are going to opt in. And then a lot of these bad contracts from the past, I'm looking at you, Otto Porter Jr., are definitely about to lock back in. Because you about to make $28 million this
year. 1 year, right? Yeah.
This is his last year. He's got a player option for $28 million.
Where is he at?
Chicago. I'm trying to
actually.
I haven't seen him play.
He didn't play last year, so he got traded.
He didn't play.
He got traded at the mid-season point, not last year, the year before from Washington. He finished well in Chicago when they had Otto Porter and Jabari Parker, which was a nasty, weird combination, not a fan of. But then Otto Porter came back and got hurt this year and didn't do anything. So guess who's keeping that $28 million?
Otto Porter. Listen, guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, next time y'all want to waste $28 million, I'll go ahead and suit up. Right, listen, I'll go suit up.
I'll take a 2. Just give me a little 2.
I'll bump the floors for $500,000.
Right.
I'm cleaning every seat in there.
Make sure you keep all the ice available. I don't got the knees.
$28 million,
got the knees out there.
Because you know he ain't going to play.
Well, and that's my
thing. He's going to give you a good 4 games.
And that's my thing. Right, give it 4 good games.
He might play because he's going to need that next contract. So this is going to be the year Otto Porter gives you 17 on 45% from three-point range.
Right.
Because that's all he does is shoot threes.
Right. That's all he does.
3 and D is his role.
That's all he does.
So you got Chris Paul. You said Bradley Beal might go to the Lakers, but you don't know.
What is Giannis going to do?
Well,
because when they offer him that Supermax, if he says no, now he has to be. Yeah, if you're in Milwaukee, you got to think about trading him.
He's out. Yeah, he's out. If he doesn't take this, if he don't take the Supermax, he's out. I think he's going to take the Supermax.
Would you take it after this? Would you?
You would. The only way he can even do
Mike
that.
Budenholzer has never taken a team over the hump. Think about them great Hawks teams.
Not only that, look at your supporting cast.
Look at your supporting cast.
Chris Middleton is not a number 2. Okay,
Or-
not on a championship team.
Yeah.
Eric Bledsoe's not a number 3. Whatever they try to make
They're
him
a
to
great regular season team because they give more effort than most teams do
In a
on a
regular
given
season.
night, which is great. I respect that. But we all know playoff basketball is different.
Playoff basketball.
Ask Paul George.
Playoff P, man. Where you at? I think Giannis, I think he stays. And here's why. Because just like we were talking about the last podcast, the goalpost has been moved for a certain player. So the sticking around with the franchise that drafted you is, even though it's overblown, I don't agree with it.
Well, Giannis is put himself in a hard spot there.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he came out and said, I want to stay in Milwaukee
I want to stay,
forever.
right? So he
but
doesn't.
the goalpost is moved where if he doesn't win this year,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
people are not only going to be okay with it, they're going to be expecting him to leave.
Right. And I think that's where you have another KD 73-9 Warriors situation.
Now, there's the difference. We telling Giannis to leave. We're not telling Giannis to go play with Bron.
Right.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
AD.
yeah.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling him, right, go to a
don't go to
situation that
Brooklyn.
fits. Right.
Like,
But
don't go to
but
Brooklyn
where
with
would he
KD.
fit,
Like,
though?
Where would he fit? Yeah, well, that's a
Without-
good question.
without being in that
That's the
situation.
problem with Giannis.
Where does he fit?
It's a problem with almost any star in the league besides LeBron James.
Yeah.
Is you got to cater the team around. LeBron can take a whole bunch of Jags, just a guy, and make them play their role and be fine.
And be totally fine.
But
Yeah.
He's done
other players cannot do that.
Right.
Because they are not LeBron. Now, Giannis, unless some stuff develops for him offensively, cannot take Jags and
No,
win.
not at
No.
all. Not at
So
all.
he needs to go to a situation where maybe a Golden State type of situation is key for him because you got the shooters and they're playmakers in amongst themselves.
I agree.
And Draymond Green's on the trading block.
And he's definitely probably.
And that,
gonna go.
look, there's no shot Draymond. Nobody in this
Nobody
world
wants to leave.
is trading
Nobody-
for Draymond
The
Green.
Mavericks said they want him.
No way they said that.
They said
no
it?
way they said that. You know why? He don't got but two toes. Okay,
I'm just
Draymond
letting you
Green,
know,
about
bro.
he looked 48 in the face. Okay,
Listen,
you can't trade for nobody who looked
40
48
in the face, 75 in the
Body.
body.
Okay, look at the belly. Okay, I'm a big man. Draymond got a belly like me. He's not playing
Yeah.
ball no more.
He's not. So do you think that ultimately, Giannis is, well, no, it won't be tainted because they're going to say LeBron did the same thing. But I'm asking.
Depends
if
on where he goes.
Yeah.
But if he only fits in Golden State, now if he goes to Golden State, that's
Golden
gonna be a
State
problem.
is different though now.
Yeah.
So Golden State is older.
Yeah.
So they're not
Players
looked
coming
at
off
now.
of a major injury.
Steph injured, Draymond broken down.
That's another thing I want to ask. How injured do y'all think Steph really was last year?
Oh, they milked it. They milked it.
I felt like they milked that way too much. Like I
They
felt
was
like
like-
that dude should have been
They
playing.
was like, we need a big man. Let's go ahead.
I
They
mean,
wanted a high pick,
Yeah.
and this was their best chance. You wasn't winning. What's the point of
What's
risking
the point of risking
returning
any
him
injury?
early?
Yeah. I
Because think about it this way. You know what the bubble and the final showed me?
What's that?
A lot of these dudes who be going out with these sprained ankles could play a lot
Can
quicker.
play a lot quicker.
Because AD, who's made of glass in and of himself, usually would have missed about 2 to 3 weeks
Yep.
when he turned that ankle.
But that- when that
with
chip
the
is on
chip
the- that
and with
chip on
Brown
the
looking
line,
at you
yeah.
like this,
My nigga,
we
yo,
wouldn't-
like,
we wouldn't-
coming back.
Oh, I'm getting
yo,
number
my man,
4.
like, hey, yo,
He didn't. You didn't have to see the trainer.
You
I'm
ain't
telling
right.
you, you playing next game.
Right.
Okay.
No, we
so
gonna get you iced and taped. Yeah.
So of course he could have come back earlier, but
That's
like,
true.
what's the point of risking it? He ain't got a chip on
I
the
agree.
line right
I agree. I mean, I just think that, sometimes, I feel like Steph has been pacified a little bit in this league. Now, granted, he's had some tough injuries. Those ankles just can't seem to get right.
See, you could say he's been pacified, but he still is one of the changers of the game.
Oh,
of
easily.
yeah.
Easily. I'll
You know
never
what I'm
take
saying?
that from him.
And the thing is, he's a shooter, so
He's
it's
a
not
shooter, yeah.
like
People have grown up now, and we're going to see this a lot going forward.
Yeah.
Shooting 35 and 40 footers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have been benched so badly.
Listen,
you would
I
have never
was-
been on the court
Bro,
again.
Let me tell you something. I was a high school basketball coach, right? Shout out to Polytech. Shout out to Coach John Pierce for giving me an opportunity, right?
facts.
I wish. No. I sincerely wish that one of my players would have ever pulled that stuff.
But now
You know
they're
who would've
supposed
did
to. Now,
You know who would have did it?
Who?
Tim.
Tim Butler, shout out
would've
to my
did
baby
it.
Tim.
Tim
Shout out
would've
to
did
Tim
it.
Butler because he was a monster. But
Yeah, he was.
But he still wouldn't have done it. Or Connor Chasnoff would have tried it.
Connor
Connor
definitely
Chasnoff
would.
would have
but
tried it.
now they need
Connor
to
definitely
try
did.
that. If you're gonna
Because,
play in
right.
if you're gonna play in the NBA, you need to be able to have that type of ring.
So he actually he gave
He changed the
an
game of basketball.
opportunity.
There might be a 4-point line one day because
Yeah, he gave an opportunity for players to ultimately be great in another way without having to be tall.
Right. I mean, well, look at it. Like, Logo Leonard, Jamal Murray, all of them pulling
Yeah.
off from the logo now.
Yeah.
Because of him.
LaMelo in high school pulling up from half
Yeah.
court, right?
I mean, we're watching LeBron pull up from daggone near the logo when
LeBron
he
came
never
in the league and couldn't shoot threes, and
right.
now he's pulling up.
And now
from,
he's pulling up
from
and making
midcourt.
them.
Hey, listen, he's feeling himself.
He's splashing.
But he's supposed to, hey.
So, but I do agree. He definitely transcended the game. He took the game to another level.
But-
I agree with that.
To agree with you, he is of course he's a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But the reason he will not be considered the all-time best point guard or combo guard,
Okay.
because I don't really count him as a true point guard. Draymond Green was averaging more assists
Right.
on that team.
True story.
But the reason he won't go down as the all-time greatest combo guard is because of the lack of consistent longevity. Now,
Okay.
his prime,
Agreed.
he's almost like Tracy McGrady with chips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
His prime,
Yeah.
I can put Tracy McGrady's prime up against anybody's prime.
And he was the
Easily.
best.
But
Easily.
his prime was not
It was short-lived.
Yeah.
as long as it could have
Short-lived.
been.
Short-lived,
Right?
'cause
Same
now-
thing with Steph. The beginning of his career cut short because of the ankle.
Right.
Now, lately, the thumb, we'll see how he bounces back.
See how he bounces
Now,
back.
let's say he gives you another, like, 3 or 4 strong years healthy. Does that change
Then it's
that?
a different narrative.
That's a
But
different-
I'm
yeah, I
talking
would
right
agree-
now.
I would agree to
I'm
that.
talking right
I would agree to
now.
that.
Oh, no, it's not going
if
to
he
happen.
finished right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But remember, 3 years ago, he was getting looked at before KD got
Oh,
there
sure.
as
Best player in the
first
league.
unanimous
Yeah.
MVP.
Yeah.
Oh, where's he going to fall on the all-time
On
point
the-
guard list?
where's he on the Mount
That's all-
Rushmore? Like,
that's
is he-
all
yeah.
now kind of gone to the side.
Yes, agreed.
Okay, and
Yep,
rightfully so to some extent. He
Yeah.
is still a great player, but you see his limitations in some ways that you don't see with all-time greats.
Also-
right, who are on that Mount Rushmore.
Also, real quick, with all this unanimous MVP stuff, how is it a unanimous decision with LeBron James still playing in the league?
With all that, hold on.
Just real quick.
With the Greek Freak
don't
getting
even wanna talk about it.
the MVP Defensive Player of the Year combo,
I
can
don't
we
even
discuss?
right. I don't,
Oh,
Can we
first of all-
discuss how Bron lost Defensive Player of the Year to a Marc Gasol who finished second team All Defense?
second team.
So you're not even the best defensive center in the league, but
But
you're
you the-
Defensive Player of the Year? The NBA's voting is a problem.
It's gotta
Also,
stop. It's
you won
gotta stop.
Defensive Player of the Year, and you literally came out and said you didn't want to guard the best
best player.
without a coach.
Yeah, Giannis,
Without a
you
coach.
coming off
said that,
soft there.
Giannis, if you watching this, which I hope you might be at some point in life, you said it.
At some point.
You came out like it's footage, bro. You
Like-
said you don't want to guard the best player. Coach picks my
Now imagine if Bron said
assignments.
that.
Right.
Oh my
we
gosh.
would be destroying.
He actually
Weak
is going out-
hearted, no soul.
No killer
Doesn't
instinct.
have the killer in him.
He's not Michael. That'd been the first thing out of the mouth. He's not Michael. When Scotty guarded every good player that. Anyway, we can do that. I just. So for me, like you said, I agree 100%. The voting has to change. These people that have a vote for the MVP literally should not have a vote. Like, even Chris Broussard and Nick Wright.
Nick Wright doesn't have a vote. Shocking.
I'm sorry, yeah. Broussard has the vote. Nick Wright doesn't. Broussard has a vote, and he voted for Giannis. I thought Nick Wright had a vote.
No, he doesn't. The bid on their show is that he
don't-
doesn't have the vote. And he gives his what he would do and what he would pick. And he was almost spot on his all NBA selection.
Yeah, he was. I think he was one person
He
off.
missed 3 total,
Okay.
and it was
but still.
2 of them was I had him here instead of here.
Instead of here,
And
right.
they
He was
flip-flopped.
still on,
Yeah.
right.
He
Right,
was
he
on
yeah.
almost everybody who made it.
Yeah.
So shout out to Nick Wright.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
Yeah.
say. I was
Shout out
shocked that he ain't have
Because
it.
even though he is an extreme LeBron
But it's a
bias-
lot of politics that go into getting them voting.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
And it's
This
a
is
little...
like- It's
Hey,
like
can I-
anything.
I want to ask this question too because I had this argument too, and this may be a hair off topic, but you know how well it actually isn't because you know how a lot of people were comparing this Miami Heat team to the 2004 Pistons.
No.
Let me ask you this.
not at all.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this because I'm glad y'all said that. Let me ask you this. Do you think that starting 5, nobody else, I'm not talking about nobody else on that squad, the starting 5 will get into the Hall of Fame? I'm talking Chauncey, Rip, Tayshaun, Ben, Sheed.
We talking as a unit?
I'm talking
The
individually
only
or
way
as a
they
unit.
get in as a full unit would be as a full unit. That makes sense. If you kind of dream team them and say, we're going to give the dream team a Hall of Fame spot, we're going to give that iteration of the Pistons a Hall of Fame spot. Rasheed could possibly make it.
I know she's a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not say shoo-in.
I would say a shoo-in because of his longevity and the things that he was able to do over his career. Take out the technicals and take out the bad
but he's got
attitude.
some political stuff that might hurt him getting in.
If we're just going based off career,
That's what I'm saying. Take the political stuff out. Would you put him in the Hall of Fame?
You guys possibly
Sheed.
and then possibly Chauncey. But I feel like he would only get in because of
Tayshaun Prince definitely can't do it. He's the ultimate glue guy, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
The only person
Rip Hamilton was never a top 3 shooting guard in his day. So it's hard.
I would say top 5 though. In his day, I would say top 5.
Okay, but like,
we're talking about.
do you see what I'm saying? Do I want the 5th best point guard of that?
To me, that doesn't matter when you're talking about
the
Hall of Fame.
It does matter. If you're not one of the best players of your group, like I can't put you.
Can you honestly say that Rip wasn't the best, one of the best players?
But he was. But
because the caliber of shooting. Look at who he's behind.
But I think the problem
Wayne,
is.
Kobe,
I think the problem
T-Mac,
is as we keep going, you're getting better shooting guards coming out.
Okay.
And now when you're like, if let's say the 3rd best shooting guard right now is beating whatever Rip did.
And no offense, Rip was limited.
Down.
Rip was limited.
But
he was a come off the screen type of guard.
Well, look at,
he wasn't really. He didn't have the dimensions to his game that we looking for.
I don't
for
think
Hall of
that
Famer.
he had the opportunity to kind of really show that.
He didn't. He did in Washington, right?
I did.
Beforehand, I mean, he was limited.
I agree with you in the sense of I think he could have been or would have been. I think the problem is now, like, for instance, if Klay Thompson, again, continues his thing and he retires in 3 years, who you going to pick in the Hall of Fame over?
Because of the chips. Because of the chips, I'm going to give
him
but
Chips, better defensive player.
He's a better defensive player.
But I'm saying as time goes, as more time
you're
passes,
not looking at Rip Hamilton as time goes on and thinking,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He stacks up.
Like, if the league
Klay
wasn't
Thompson
getting better,
cannot be in the same place as Rip Hamilton.
No. I'm not putting
there
him in
needs
the
to
same
be a
place.
different Hall of Fame then. If we need to have an average player Hall of Fame, no offense to Rip Hamilton.
See, that's not what the Hall of Fame is though. It's what you did over the course of your career, right?
But he was so he doesn't have the accolades.
It's not. We can't discredit because it's basketball Hall of Fame, not NBA.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
Right?
He doesn't have the accolades.
He was the college accolades, bro.
Okay.
Rip's got UConn, like he's got the college accolades.
He was great at UConn, right?
Yeah.
But then but we're not putting in just great college basketball players. Great college basketball players, unless you play for the WNBA or a coach, you don't make the Basketball Hall of Fame based off of just your college stuff. And his NBA stuff, he wasn't an all NBA type of guy. He was behind too many guards.
He was behind too many guards. I'll give you that.
And he didn't average enough points as a shooting guard who was a shooting guard.
Because what hurt him was you had AI, you had Kobe, you had
T-Mac, Vince Carter.
So you had all these guys. It's like
D Wade.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he's still able. Like imagine
but you can't name that many people in front of you. He's not on anybody's top.
Hall, though. They're all going.
He's not a jag. He's not just a guy. But he's Chris Middleton.
Yeah. But and see that's
Chris Middleton just put up 50, 40, 90 line, right? And we talk about how he can't be a number 2.
My point to you too.
But he's not a catalyst on a. You can't replace Chris Middleton with Rip Hamilton on that squad.
Oh, I disagree.
You can't.
First off, bigger, stronger, same shooter.
Can't.
Better defensive player. I disagree with you.
Here's my
we
thing
just
too.
have to agree to disagree on that one.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing too. Is like all those guys you just said, they're all going to the Hall.
Yeah.
I think that's what hurts them too. Because again, you're pushing back, and as the new generation comes in,
so we saw you against a whole bunch of Hall of Famers,
right?
And you were not to their level.
He measured up. It's not like Rip was trash.
He measured
below.
But we are not saying Rip Hamilton is the reason for that chip. They're saying
he was a catalyst on that squad.
No. The catalyst of that squad.
You take any one of those cogs out of that puzzle, they don't win a chip.
Hold on. I agree with you, right?
So
they needed each
how
other.
Do you diminish his
but
great?
The strength of the squad was better than the strength of the individual.
Of course.
So him himself was not the catalyst. Him himself in that system
he was a
with
piece
that
of
group
being a catalyst,
was
bro.
the catalyst. But the two main heads of that team were Big Play Chauncey, Big Shot Bob, and Chauncey Billups.
Right.
Rasheed Wallace
And Ben
offensively,
Wallace.
and then you had Ben Wallace defensively,
Right.
and Tayshaun Prince.
Right.
So you had, think about it this way, everybody had a role, right? Big Shot Bob and Rasheed were your offensive cogs. Your defensive cogs were Tayshaun Prince, who was a freak athlete defensively, and Ben Wallace.
Absolutely.
So then you're left with your fifth guy was your consistent, okay, I'm going to hit this mid-range in Rip Hamilton. But that's not enough on its own to get you into Hall of Fame.
Which he could have not done. There have been plenty of players that have been in Rip's role that
I'm not going to discredit them, but there's plenty of players who, if you would put them on that team, their career looks different because if they would have a chip too.
But Rip,
you put Vince Carter in that role, you telling me they're not a good team?
If you put Vince Carter in that role, you don't have that team. That's the problem, right? You can't put a Vince Carter in that situation.
All I'm going to say is Rodney Stuckey came in and replaced Rip Hamilton.
Rodney Stuckey
and
was
put
trash.
in buckets.
Rodney Stuckey was trash,
Put
bro.
in
Don't you
buckets.
ever disrespect Rip Hamilton by saying Rodney Stuckey came in and did a better job
Put
than Rip
in
Hamilton.
buckets.
Rodney Stuckey.
Buckets.
This is where it gets good.
Bucket.
Rodney Stuckey, bro.
was a bucket.
Stuckey, bro.
Bucket.
This man just said Rodney.
You're not going to sit here and disrespect Rodney Stuckey.
I'd rather you have said Will Bynum than Rodney Stuckey,
First off,
bro.
Will Bynum was a defensive problem.
That's what I'm saying.
But Rodney Stuckey was a bucket.
When we get to the point where we talk about Will Bynum, all right, I'm going to take control of this. Real quick, before we go into our last segment, I'm going to tell you guys who the top players on the market or on the trading block are.
Okay, let's talk about
Rapid fire, y'all just give me one team y'all think they go to.
Shoot.
Ready? So Julius Randle.
Stays in New York.
Where do you think he goes?
He becomes a middle school basketball coach.
Okay. Disrespect.
That was unnecessary. Shots at Julius Randle.
I like Jew and
That was horrible. Okay.
I could see Julius honestly being a good fit for actually the Chicago Bulls.
Bulls.
No lie. Chicago Bulls.
Draymond Green.
He's not free agent?
But he's on the trading
He's on
block.
the trade.
Oh, he's staying. Come on, I already told you he ain't going nowhere.
All right,
I
Warrior.
think he
Get his
died.
toes done. That's about it.
If he does leave Golden State, I see him going somewhere like the Kings.
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
because
His veteran leadership
his
would be
veteran
big.
leadership, right? And the fact that you don't have to pay him a boatload of money.
Yeah. He getting paid though.
He gonna get paid,
Right.
but it's not like a max or super max or even close to that. I don't think. You know what
It's
I mean?
about there.
It would be close to it, but you know what I mean. I don't think you would have to bet the farm on him.
Right.
You know what I mean? In order to get other good players in. So
Buddy Hield.
Sixers, baby.
I had to pump you up just a little bit.
Sixers.
I gotta agree with you. I like him.
He
on
want to
the
be in
Sixers.
Philly. That's all I'm saying.
I like him on the Sixers here, and that gives you
A shooter.
a bona fide shooter that you're missing.
You need
that
the
you've been
J.J.
missing
Redick
with
role.
and J.J. Redick. You know what I mean? So
I'm going to give y'all two more. Drew Holiday.
Ironically, if Buddy Hield's not in Philly, I think it's Drew Holiday.
I was going to think it's the Sixers. I think he's coming back home.
There's been a lot of speculation for the past year and a half about Drew coming back.
But a lot of teams can use him, though. Like,
I would love to see him in L.A., though.
yeah.
I would like to see Drew in a Clippers uniform.
Yep.
If Drew Holiday is in a Clippers uniform, I think that scope
That's
of
a
that
scary
team,
team.
that's a scary team. Because that was the one thing that they were missing this year. Just a floor general. They didn't have anybody that could literally take over in a moment and say,
They
this
can
is what we
pass
And shoot.
and shoot.
And shoot.
Wasn't one-dimensional. He's not
But
one-dimensional.
I won't discount Philly because that is home to him.
Yeah,
that's where he was
that's
drafted, so.
yeah. But I say that's home.
And Doc Rivers coming,
That'd be great.
that
That'd be
would
great.
be great. So I can't argue with that.
Last person, Kevin Love.
Man,
He might be doing
the
yoga.
AARP
You know what I
line.
mean? Like he might be doing Aflac commercials soon. Like,
He's gonna be the new Nick Batum. Okay, he's gonna be making money just to make money.
Making money, staying hurt on the bench.
That's about to be
Shout out
Kevin
to Nick
Love.
Batum,
Shout out to
though.
He
Nick
about to be
Batum getting that
Udonis
money,
Haslam.
dog. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Shout out to cats getting that
Hey.
money, man.
Do what y'all do.
Do what you
Listen.
hey, and if it works, you work it.
And Al Horford on the books with the Sixers.
Yo, man, listen, Al Horford, man.
He's
Al
going to bring
Horford.
y'all a chip.
No. Sacramento.
Send him out where careers go to die, man.
Sacramento.
But I'm about to say that kind of hot take leads us into our next segment.
Yeah, our
of the
last
night.
segment
Let's
of the
talk
day.
about it.
We got Barbershop Hot Takes.
Barbershop hot takes.
Who's it brought to us by, fellas?
Barbershop Hot Takes is brought to us by Benson Built. If you're looking for an athletic apparel, go no further. Go to bensonbuilt.com. That's benson-built.com.
Benson
And
Built,
follow
baby.
Benson Built on Facebook and Instagram.
great.
Benson_Built. Yeah, go follow them. They got great shirts.
Comfy.
They very comfy. Listen, I worked out the other day. I sweated a little bit, because I don't do cardio. And listen,
No shame. Shout out to all my cardio folks.
yeah, I know.
Get your,
Hey,
get your
listen.
miles in, man.
Hey, I'm at 3 miles, brother.
All right, I feel you.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not.
He said I'm not.
Antonio's like,
But it's
nah,
very
man.
comfortable, doesn't really stick to you as much. You can breathe in it. I appreciated it.
Yeah.
So definitely go check them out at bensonbuilt.com.
All right, yeah.
Man, these hot takes, baby. What we got for the hot takes? Talk to
for
me.
those, since it's our first episode, our barbershop hot takes is something you would hear in the barbershop. Something crazy that
Something we sitting around
you
talking
genuinely believe can go down. So who wants to start us off with the hot take?
Go ahead, Scoob.
My hot take is
Wow.
LA three-peats.
Well, okay, wow.
That's
All
my
right.
hot take. LA three-peats.
We just ignoring the salary cap, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to just ignore the salary cap.
Okay.
I think that as long as you keep the main things, which is Bron and AD in place, I think you can build a good enough team around them.
I mean, they starting off with the one, so I mean, you gotta.
It ain't gonna be
you
a-
gotta get one, so they there.
I think that they could three-peat. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say they could three-peat.
We doing any take, right?
Any take.
Hold on. And can I even piggyback off that?
Go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Brooklyn doesn't make the playoffs.
Oh, I think that's more of a reality than
Brooklyn doesn't make the
When
playoffs.
you-
Not
when-
even
They're
the
not the
eighth seed.
AC. I'm gonna give them the eighth seed.
I don't
when
know
your
if they
point
make
guard
the
come out and be like, I don't think this is the coach for us, and he ain't even
No, not even. I don't think this go. I don't think we need a coach.
That was like, that was
That
one
was
of the
disrespectful.
illest things that you could ever
Well,
say as a player.
Cancer
Like,
Kyrie strikes again. Like, I don't understand. This is your third team where you just like, all right,
So,
bro.
at
maybe
one point, you got to look over and
You
think,
got
maybe
to
it's
step
me.
in front of that mirror, like we said, man. Give me
My
a
hot take.
What's the hot take?
Dak Prescott wins the Super Bowl with a different team.
Ooh. I like that. I mean, the minute he takes off that star, I can root for him for real.
Right, I was about to say
That's
black,
I'm all
disrespectful,
for it.
but I understand it.
black
You know
quarterbacks
what I
matter,
mean?
bro.
Black quarterbacks definitely matter. You know what, though? I think that for us to really understand the value of Dak, I think that does have to happen. And I think that
Wow.
can happen.
This is a
this is a Cowboys fan talking.
Right, this is a monumental like.
And I usually don't buck the system, man.
Hey.
But I think that's one of those things you got to lose it to understand how important it is. And he's a solid cornerstone piece to our franchise, man. As much as we want to give it to Zeke, and what he does, like,
You need the QB. Can't do it
we
without
need
the
the
QB.
QB, man. We need the QB.
So let him get a hold of someone like a Bill Belichick, and he'd be like, "Oh, y'all want to let him go?"
Where there's a system in place. Because
Yep.
to be truthfully honest, I mean, Mike McCarthy got fired because his system was trash. I mean, you had Aaron
And
Rodgers.
honestly, ain't much different between him and Jason Garrett so far. Not saying
Look the
anything.
same to me. I don't know.
Pretty much the same
Man,
team.
he might as well take off. You might as well take their face off and put them on each other's bodies.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Are y'all ready for my hot take?
I'm ready. Hold on. I'm a little nervous because you first of all, you know your stuff, man. I'm extremely
Appreciate you,
not
appreciate
even
you. Why you think
impressed
he on-
saying that you know what I mean.
That's why he's on the show.
I mean, of course. I mean,
think I'm just gonna put anybody on the show.
Yeah, I'm here to talk sports, y'all. I'm gonna
disrespectful
talk
to me.
to it right.
disrespectful, but I'm just saying, some people get on these joints and they really don't know what they're talking about.
One of
So
the smartest cats I know.
for us to be able to dialogue like this has been a tremendous thing. So I just want to say kudos to both of you gentlemen on what you bring to the table.
Watch
Now-
what you say, because I will fight you.
We will definitely, and
I
I'm
will
his
fight
cousin,
you
blood
after
cousin.
this.
So
Nah, nobody gonna fight me on this
Okay.
one. Paul George gets traded this offseason. The Clippers never come back as the iteration that was supposed to beat Bron.
Wow. Wow.
Bam.
Yeah.
Bam. That's what I'm gonna leave you
That would
with.
be crazy too to see where he goes if that happens.
wow.
Hot takes, baby. We
Wow.
out here
Especially-
saying cold takes. It's hot takes.
Wow.
You got the whole Clipper organization like, all right,
Like, writing this down. Let me make sure that we get into this.
who got salary cap space?
Wow.
Hey,
I don't have nothing to say after that.
I think that's it.
That's crazy, bro. Where did that come from? You know what I mean?
I mean, you look at the landscape of that team and all the rumblings that have come out since. First off, Paul George can opt out of his contract after this year.
This is true.
Yes.
This is
Same
true.
with Kawhi.
This is true.
So you're putting a lot of pressure on one season.
Yeah.
Okay, we've already seen how playoff P handles pressure. Not well.
Pressure busts
Also,
pipes.
all the leaks that have come out from the Clippers organization since that debacle of a 3-1 collapse.
Yeah.
has not painted Paul George in the greatest of lights, okay? Him coming and saying we need to just run this thing back and players supposedly looking at him like he's crazy.
Yeah.
Him saying that it was not championship or
I was
bust
gonna
this
ask that,
year.
championship or bust.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe he's showing the mindset that will lead to that organization having confidence in running this back. And if I'm going to lose Kawhi possibly after next year, I need to kind of recoup some of the crazy assets I gave up for Paul George. And I need to get – you might lose Montrezl Harrell this offseason. He's a free agent.
He's a free agent.
So you got to get different pieces around Kawhi.
Well, luckily their owner is
Rich.
rich.
How much of that team do you think they retain for next year?
Well, they're saying Lou Williams might go.
I think Lou
They're
Williams going to get
saying
paid.
No, he's not even free agent. They're saying he might get traded.
Yeah.
Montrez is a free agent. Marcus Morris is a free agent.
Come back to Boston, baby.
Don't do
The
that.
Sixers killer. Come back to Boston,
Sixer
baby.
killer.
I've never seen you miss a shot against the Sixers, so don't
He
do
never
that.
did.
This is true.
This man be 17 for 17 when he be in Philadelphia. I don't know what
Hey,
y'all did to him.
Hey,
But
man.
man, he likes his home
Boston, baby.
cooking. I don't know.
Fellas.
But actually, yeah.
Those are some hot takes, bro. I can't wait till we come back and we talk about, like, you know what I mean? We get a chance to kind of share a little bit more and in depth, man. This is
Just the beginning.
Y'all witnessing this, man? Do y'all see what's going on? We talking real sports, man. Like, this is great. Like, I haven't had this has been a more refreshing sports conversation, one of the most refreshing sports conversations I've had in a while. And we've touched on a few things. So I'm excited about where we're gonna go with this joint, man. This is
Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, no, I'm just kidding.
let the church say amen.
Let the church say amen.
Let the church say amen. Hey, and also, I'm sorry, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but for all of those that are watching, we will make this live and interactive. So don't think that we're just going to be doing this post-production. We are going to be going live. We're going to give the fans, you guys that are watching via Facebook Live, Instagram Live, we're going to give you the opportunity to be a part of our cast and be able to ask questions, call in, talk to us. We're going to have some amazing things down the pipe for these folks, man.
Shout out to the crew. Shout out to Charlie.
Shout out to Charlie.
Back here holding it down
Shout out
for
to Love
us.
Jones Productions, man. He held us
Right.
down all night tonight. You
Real
my dog, man. You my dog. Hey, if y'all
Shout
need good production done, video production, holla at him and his
Jones
wife,
Production.
graphic design, holla at him and his wife. Love Jones Productions. Love Jones Productions. I'm going to say it one more time. Love Jones Productions.
You said Jones Love.
Love Jones Productions.
I couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Shout out to Larry, Dre, Tom. Shout out to everyone at Jam
Jam
24/7 for letting us use this wonderful, wonderful facility.
Man.
All the
You see
equipment.
the shirt?
If you need anything for audio, video, live streaming, come to Jam 24/7. It's
Jam,
located in
man.
Wilmington.
Studio time, like they literally have
got
everything
everything,
that
bro.
you need. Like we came in and set up a whole podcast, 2 podcasts today. We're gonna be shooting more, but just think about what else you can do here. Any artists out there that want to do anything live, you can come here. You have a full stage, full backline. You can come here, record your vocals. You can literally do anything here. You can host a small church service if you want. So any
Hallelujah.
church service out there not paying your bills, you got to pay Uncle Tom though.
Right. You gotta pay Uncle Tom, though.
You can't not pay Uncle Tom. Then you have a problem with me. You dig what I'm saying? So shout out to Jam 24/7 once again for the hospitality, for having us.
And go check them out at www.jam247sound.com. Follow them on Facebook. And also follow us at Aurum, AURUM_entertainment.
You already know.
On Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Shout
Big
out to
things
the
coming, guys. Big things coming.
Shout out to the mediator. Shout out to Jay, man. Shout out to Antonio, man.
Shout out to the crew.
Shout out to the crew, love, man.
You know what I mean?
I think this is gonna be a dangerous little combination, man. We're gonna give some cats a run for their money.
Hey, man.
So
we
I'm
here for it.
I'm here to tell y'all, man. Y'all get used to these faces, baby.
We're here, or at least until someone pays us out. Then listen.
And look, you give
We
me a
want that
couple
bag to
dollars.
hit different
Right.
too, and y'all should want it for us. So
Right now.
Bless
love
us.
y'all, man.
Bless us.
shout out, man.
See y'all next episode. Peace.
We with it, baby. Let's go.